Everyone, good afternoon everyone. Thanks for joining us today. I hope you've had a good week so far. Today we'll have all grades. We have elementary school students, junior high or middle school, and then we have high school students as well. We will be working through some problems together. We'll follow the same method we use, which is I'm going to put a question forward and we'll try to see if we can walk through it individually, and then we'll do it as a group, and then thereafter I'll show you how to solve the questions. Also note that if you have a question that is relevant to what you're learning in school, I'm willing to put whatever I have prepared on hold to accommodate your questions and to deal with the questions that you have. I want to make sure that this is valuable to you, and let's enjoy the ride. It should be fun. I have some puzzles at the end, as we always do. I have two puzzles at the end. One that I made on my own, and the other one I got from some of the groups that I belong to online. So, looking forward to the time. So let's get started. We're going to have some fractions today, decimals. Every day I have the 2nd to 7th graders. I plan to do some fractions because I know that that is a topic that I get questions on all the time from students in those grades. So let's go ahead and look at ordering fractions and decimals. We're trying to order these fractions and decimals from the least to the greatest. How is everyone doing? I hope you're doing well. Let me know if you have any issues. Okay, we'll wait a few more moments and then we'll be able to solve this together. Alright, I'm not getting any responses yet. I'm sure some are still making their way in. Okay. So we'll go ahead and start with this problem, and I'm sure as people trickle in, we'll be able to get to questions that are relevant to them. So let's go ahead and look at this example here. We're trying to order fractions and decimals. The easiest way to do this is to convert all of them to the same type of number, and so you can either choose to convert all of them to decimals or all of them to fractions. Whichever way you prefer, that's fine. I like to always convert them to fractions. It's a lot easier to work with, in my opinion. So let's go ahead and convert the decimals to fractions. So I'm going to convert 0.35 to a fraction, 0.35. This is going to give me 35 divided by 100. And so I'm going to convert this to, and the reason why we do that is because you have two numbers after the decimal. You're going to have to multiply by 100 so you can move the decimal to the end. So that's going to be 1, 2. That's why we multiply by 100. So 35 divided by 100, we're going to go ahead and simplify this. This is going to be Remember yesterday and the day before we looked at divisibility rules. Any number that ends with 5 or 0 is divisible by 5. So we can divide both numerator and denominator by 5. So this is going to give you 7 over 20. And the other decimal we have, so this is going to be 7 over 20. The other decimal we have is 0.6. 0.6. So we have one number after the decimal, so we're going to have 10 in the denominator, and then we take off the decimal here. We divide by 2, numerator and denominator. We have 3 over 5. So we have 3 over 5. So now we have, remember, for you to be able to express or to order decimal fractions, you have to have the same denominator. So here we have 2 as a denominator, we have 3, we have 5, and then we have 20 as our denominators. So we're going to go ahead and get a common denominator for all of these numbers. So the least common multiple or least common denominator. So we have 2 here, we have 3, we have 5, we have 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 5. So this is going to give us our LCM. We're going to always have all the factors in the LCM. So that's going to be 2. And then we're always going to pick the one that appears the most. So 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 5. So this is 4 times 3 times 5. And then we have 12 multiplied by 5, which is equal to 60. All right, so we have 60 is our least common denominator. So now we're going to write each of these fractions here so that we have a least common denominator of 60. So let's go ahead and look at 1/2. We're going to multiply 2 by 30. How can you tell? If I take 2 out here, I have 2 multiplied by 3, 6 multiplied by 5, that's 30. And so I'm going to multiply 1 by 30. So this is going to give me 30 over 60. The next one is 7 over 20. I'm going to multiply 20 by 3. And so I have to multiply 7 by 3. So this is 21 over 60. Now we have 2/3. 2/3 is going to give us, we're going to multiply 3 by 20, so we multiply 2 also by 20. So this is going to give us 40 over 60. And then we have 3/5, 3 over 5. This is going to give us 5 multiplied by 12, so 3 multiplied by 12. This is going to give us 36 over 60. And the final fraction we have is 2/5. This is going to give us, we multiply 5 again by 12, and we have 2 multiplied by 12. This is going to give you 24 over 60. And now we're going to order them from, pay attention to the detail here, least to greatest. So let's look from the smallest number to the largest number. So we have the smallest number is going to be, so we have 21 over 60 is the smallest. The next one is going to be 24 over 60. The next one will be 30 over 60. After that, we have 36 over 60. And then finally, we have 40 over 60. So now, what are we going to do here? We're going to rewrite all of these using the original fractions and decimals we were given. So let's look at 21 over 60, which is, that is 7 over 20, which is 0.35. So we have 0.35 as the smallest. 24 over 60, that is 2/5. So that is going to give us 2 over 5 here. The next one is 30 over 60, which is 1/2. 1/2. Then we have 36 over 60, which is 3 over 5, but we had it as 0.6. And then finally we have 40 over 60, which is 2/3. 2/3. So this is the order from the least all the way through to the greatest. Any questions on this? Any part of it you want me to repeat? Everyone feel good about this? So we can go to the next topic. Welcome to Midayo. It's good to have you. Okay. If you have any questions, what questions do you have? Okay, I'll read your comments. Let's go to the next one, and then if you have a comment, I will pay attention to that as we walk through the next set of problems. Now we're going to be subtracting fractions. This is something that I know I haven't really walked through with the group yet. So we're going to be subtracting an improper fraction from a whole number, and then we're going to be dividing a whole number by a mixed fraction, a mixed number. So is this a topic everyone is familiar with? Is this useful for us to go through this with you all? Or do you have a different set of questions you want me to look at? I am open. Does anyone have an answer to this? Or would you like me to show you how to do it? Okay, so let's go ahead and walk through this one. So we have 4 minus 8 over 5. Okay, I will show you. So we have 4 minus 8 over 5. So the first thing I'm going to do here is to write both of them as improper fractions. So I have 4 over 1 minus 8 over 5. So remember, when you're trying to add or subtract fractions, you have to make sure that they have the same denominator. I'll keep emphasizing this as often as we do addition and subtraction. It's very important. They have to have the same denominator. So what you have here, you have the denominators are 1 and 5. So whenever you have 1 and a number, then that number actually ends up being your common denominator. So we have 4 over 1. We have a denominator of 5, so we're going to multiply 1 by 5, and then we multiply 4 by 5. This is going to give me 20 over 5, and then 8 over 5, it already has the same denominator, so I don't need to redo that. So this is going to give me 20 over 5 minus 8 over 5. So now we have a common denominator, which is 5. Then we can now subtract 8 from 20 in the numerator, and this is going to give me 12 over 5. Now that we have an improper fraction, we can leave it in this form, or we can convert the improper fraction to a mixed number. So 12 over 5. So I'm going to divide 12 by 5. So how many groups of 5 do we have in 12? We have only 2. 2 multiplied by 5 is going to give you 10. We're going to subtract and we're left with 2. So this is going to give me 2 as the whole number, and then we have a remainder of 2, and we're dividing by 5. So these two are exactly the same. These two are exactly the same answers. Does this make sense? Do you understand it? Is this better, Dio? Okay, while you respond, I will. Okay. We can do another example shortly. If you want us to do another example, I'll do another example. So let's go ahead and look at the division, and then we may have to go back to doing another example of the subtraction. I think it's useful to everyone. All right, so now when we're dealing with division, we have 3 divided by 1, 4 over 5. So to work with division, you have to always have them as either proper fractions or improper fractions. It's difficult at this level to work with fractions without having them in the same form. So I'm going to write each of these as an improper fraction. So this is going to give me 3 over 1 divided by, now we want to change 1 4 over 5 to an improper fraction. So we're going to multiply 1 by 5 and then add 4, divide by 5. So 1 multiplied by 5 is 5 plus 4. That's going to give us 9 over 5. So this is now going to give us 9 over 5. Now we will have to change the sign to a division. We change the operation from a division to a multiplication. So it's going to give us 3 over 1, and then we change to a multiplication. Because we're changing to a multiplication, we have to switch the position of the numerator and the denominator. So it's going to give you 5 over 9. So you have 2 choices here. You can either, let me use a different color so you can see what I'm doing. I can divide 3 by 3, 1, 9 divided by 3, I have 3. So this is going to give me 5 over 3. So now you can leave it in this form, but because your answer is in mixed number, I'm sure most of your teachers will prefer it in that form. So let's go ahead and convert 5 over 3 to a mixed number. 5 over 3. So we have one group of 3 and 5. 5 divided by 3, you have 1 time. 1 multiplied by 3, I have 3. Subtract, I have 2. So this is going to be the same as 1, 2 over 3. Does that, any questions on this? Okay, so let's go down here. And let's try another example of subtracting an improper fraction from a whole number. Let's do 6 minus 9 over 8. Okay, so the first thing, like I said earlier, is to write the whole number as an improper fraction. So that's going to give you 6 over 1 minus 9 over 8. Now we have a situation where we have denominators that are not the same. So we have to convert each of these fractions to their equivalent fractions with the same denominator. So we have 6. Our common denominator is going to be 8. So we have 6 over 1. We multiply 1 by 8. And then we multiply 6 also by 8. 6 multiplied by 8 is 48. And then 8 multiplied by 1 is 8. So now you can see that we have a common denominator here, 48 over 8 minus 9 over 8. So we have a common denominator now, so we can subtract the numerators. So this is going to give us 8 as our common denominator, and then 48 minus 9. This is going to give you 39 over 8. Now we can leave it in this form, or we can convert 39 over 8 to a mixed number. So how many groups of 8 are in 39? I'll say there are 4. 4 multiplied by 8, 32. And so we have, subtracting 32 from 39, we're left with 7. So this is going to give us the same as 4 as our whole number, 7 is our remainder, and we're dividing by 8. So that's how you do that. Is this clearer now? All right, let's go ahead to the next question. Okay, for 6th to 8th graders, the midpoint of point A, -3, 6, and point B, which has the coordinates are A, B, is 4 and -5. What are the values of A and B? So we're looking at the midpoint of a line. the midpoint of a line. We have the value of the midpoint. We have one of the points. We don't have the second point. We want to find out what the second point has to be so we can have a midpoint of 4 and -5. Let's give our 6th to 8th graders maybe a minute or so. This is not too difficult to do. Do we have any 6th, 7th, and 8th graders in the session today? Any 6th, 7th, and 8th graders today? Okay, let me just go ahead and show you how to do this. Since there are no 6th, 7th, or 8th graders, I'll go ahead and show this so that when they're able to watch this, they can see how to do a question like this. So we have the midpoint. I like to always start with concept. The midpoint of 2 points, which is the point that is in the middle of 2 points, is going to be the average of those 2 points. So we're going to have x1 plus x2 over 2, and then y1 plus y2 over 2. So that's going to be our midpoint. So now let's go ahead. Let's make this x1. Let's make this y1. Let's make this x2, and then y2. So we're saying here that our midpoint, let's make this m, is going to be our midpoint x1 plus x2. x1 is -3 plus a over 2. Okay. -3 plus a over 2. And then we have, okay. All right. She can answer the question too. Then we have 6 plus b over 2. So now this is what the midpoint is going to be. These are the coordinates of the midpoint. But here's what we're told what those values should be. So here we're saying that this is actually equal to 4, 5. So that means that -3 plus a over 2 is equal to 4. And then 6 plus b over 2, this is -5, equal to -5. So we're going to solve these equations here to get the value of a and b. So what we can do here is to multiply both sides by 2, multiply by 2 here, multiply by 2, so we can get rid of the denominator. So -3 plus a is equal to 8. So now we're going to add 3 to both sides. Add 3 to both sides. So a is equal to 11. Now we're going to do a similar thing here. We're going to multiply this by 2 and then multiply this by 2. So 6 plus b equal to -5 multiplied by 2 is going to give you -10. So we're going to subtract 6 from both sides. So we have b is equal to -10 minus 6 is going to be -16. So our point B, based on this, we have A is equal to 11, and then B is -16. So therefore, A is 11, B is -16. The reason why I'm doing this here is because of what the question is asking. The question is asking, what are the values of A and B? It's not really asking for you to tell what the point is. It's asking for the actual values of the coordinate points there. That's why we have our answer this way. Any questions on this? Do you have any questions? Okay, let's go ahead. Do we have any students in Algebra 1, Algebra 2 here? This is quadratic equations, and we're trying to find the coordinates of the vertex of a quadratic equation. This is Algebra 1 and 2 right now. we want to find the coordinates of the vertex of a quadratic equation. Anyone want to attempt this? Okay, I'll give you some time, maybe about a minute or so, to attempt to get the coordinates of the vertex of this quadratic equation or expression. Let's put a 0 here to make it an equation. All right. So we're looking for a vertex. And we're looking for the coordinates in the form HK. It's important to remember your vertex has coordinates HK. Do you have an answer yet? Or would you like me to show you how to do this? Okay, let me show you. So, thanks for your response. We want to find the coordinates of the vertex. So remember that the vertex has x and y coordinates. So for the x coordinate, what we actually need to do is find the value of minus b over 2a. And then for the y coordinate, we're going to find f of minus b over 2a. So now, how would you get all these values? So we're going to write ax squared plus bx plus c equal to 0. And we have to compare against 2x squared plus 12x minus 9 equal to 0. So we need to find the values of a, b, and c. So here, a is equal to 2. When you compare them, b is equal to 12, and then c equal to negative 9. So the x coordinate of the vertex is going to be, x coordinate is minus b. What is b here? So it's going to be minus 12 over 2a. That's 2 multiplied by 2. So that's going to give me minus 12 over 4, which is going to give you 3. Rather, negative 3, because you have a negative sign here. Now for the y coordinate, what we're going to do now is we're going to treat this way: f of x equal to 2x squared plus 12x minus 9. And so we're going to find f of negative 3, which is going to give us 2 multiplied by negative 3 squared plus 12 multiplied by negative 3 minus 9. So this is going to be 2 multiplied by 9 minus 12 multiplied by 3 is 36 minus 9. So this is going to give us 18 minus 36 minus 9. When you solve this, PEMDAS, we start from the left to the right. Negative 18 minus 9, which is going to be equal to negative 27. So now the coordinates of our vertex will be, what is the x coordinate? Let's make sure that we can pinpoint that. This is the x coordinate, this is the y coordinate. So the vertex here is going to be negative 3, negative 27. The other thing I want you to be able to see also is if you're asked what shape is the quadratic equation, because x squared has a positive coefficient, so the number to the left of x squared is positive, the graph is going to look like this. So it's going to open upward. If this was negative, if it was a negative number, then the graph will open downward. So that's something else that is important for you to remember. Any questions on this? Is this clear enough? The other approach you could have taken with this is to go ahead and figure out how to draw the graph, find all the roots and all of that, x-intercept, y-intercept. And for this graph, I don't believe it's not going to be that easy to get because you have to use the quadratic formula. So it may not be that easy to get. So this is the easiest way to use algebra to get the coordinates of the vertex of a quadratic expression or equation. All right, let's see. We have for 3rd to 6th graders. So Ryan earns $3,475.80 every month. He pays $199.87 in taxes, $450 for his family's health insurance, and gives $147 to his local nonprofit. How much money does he save if he spends $1,625 on rent and food and $200 on gas during the month? Okay, let's give you a few minutes on this one. We want to find out how much he gets to save after all these expenses. How much will he save after spending all of this based on his income? I want you to pay attention to keywords. All right, I'll give you about a minute to think through this, and then we'll go ahead and walk through it. Also note that if we have any questions, if you have any topics that you want us to look at during this session, just let me know and we'll pick a few questions and look at them. I will be happy to put to the side any questions that I have created or that I found online or from textbooks that are related to your grades. I'll be willing to put that to the side to address what is important to you. One of the main reasons we're doing these sessions is so that you can help you with what you're doing in school, because I know some schools are not really focusing on finishing out the curriculum because of the challenges with distance learning. So I want to help plug that hole that may be created from the teachers not being able to help you out during this time. All right, I'll wait for a few minutes for some responses, and then we'll go ahead and do some more problems. Let's go ahead and draw a table. This is income, this is expense. Any answers yet? It's confusing? Okay, let's go ahead and solve this together. So Ryan earns $3,475.80. So that's money he's getting. So that is 3,475.80. And he pays, so anything that he's going to be paying, we'll put in the minus column here. He pays $199.87, so $199.87 in taxes. He also pays $450 for health insurance, and he gives, so this is all money that he's giving away, $147 to his local nonprofit. How much does he save if he spends, so this is also money that is going away, $1,625 on food and $200 on gas. So we're going to what I like to do is every time I like to, well, as often as possible, I like to make sure that all my numbers have the same number of digits So now if there's no digits, I put a 0 to the left to just close that up. If they're not all the same, that is. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add all of these numbers together. 7 plus 0, this is going to give you 7 here. 8 all the way plus 0, we're going to have 8 here. Now we're going to add 9 plus 7, that is 16, plus 5, 21. I'm going to write 1 here and bring 2 up here. So 2 plus 9, 11, plus 5, 16, plus 4, 20, plus 2, we have 22. So I'm going to write 2 here and bring 2 up here. 2 plus 1, 3. 3 plus 4, 7. Plus 1, 8. 8 plus 6, 14. 14 plus 2, we have 16. So I'm going to write 6 here and bring 1 up here. 1 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 1 is going to give us 2. So what we now have is that Ryan earns this amount of money and spends this amount of money. So how much does he save? So his savings will be amount he earned minus the amount he spent. Okay, so that's going to give us 3475.80 minus 2621.87. So this is what we're going to do to find out how much he has left at the end of the month. So 0 minus 7 can do that. So I'm going to go to 8 and borrow 1. So 8 is, we have 7 left over here. And then the one we borrow becomes 10. 10 plus 0, we have 10. 10 minus 7, we have 3. 7 minus 8 can do that. So I'm going to go over to the neighbor to borrow 1. And the neighbor has 4 left. The one I borrow becomes 10. I add it to 7, it becomes 17. So 17 minus 8, we have 9. 4 minus 1, we have 3. 7 minus 2, we have 5. And then 4 minus 6, we cannot do that. So we're going to go over to the neighbor to borrow 1. The neighbor now has 2. And then the one we borrow becomes 10. We add it here, it becomes 14. So 14 minus 6, we have 8. And then 2 minus 2, we have 0. So this is going to give us $853.93. So that's how much Ryan is able to save during this month. Any questions? Does this make it clearer for you? Any questions? Is it better? Do you understand it? Do you understand the process that I went through? What you want to always pay attention to is you're looking for how much is in the positive, so how much you earn, and then how much you spend, and then the balance of that, or the difference, is going to be okay. Good. It's good. So you understand it. That's good. All right, let's go to the next question. So this question was sent to me at the end of our session yesterday from a 10th grader. So I will go, and I think it's the 10th grader is in geometry. So I want to go ahead and show you how to do this. So we're looking for the area of the prism below. What is a prism? A prism has common bases and it has a height. So it's a three-dimensional shape that has two faces that are considered the base. They're common, and we have a height. The name of the prism is given by the shape of the base. The shape of the base here we can see is a triangle. So this is called a triangular prism. A triangular prism. Now we're going to find out what the surface area of this prism is going to be. I'll give you a hint here. Surface area is going to be pH plus 2b. pH plus 2b. P is the perimeter of the base. H is the height of the prism. B is the area of the base. So we're going to first find the perimeter of the base. Our base here is a triangle. I want to show you here that these are equal. That's what this means here. This line here shows you that these two sides are equal. So this is going to be a right angle, and then this side and this side are also equal. That's what this means. So we're going to go ahead and we need to first find the perimeter of a triangle, you add all the sides together. So we need to find the value of the missing side. Without that, we cannot find the perimeter of this triangle. So anyone want to attempt this? Anyone knows how to do this? Okay, let me show you how this is done. So we have a right triangle. Because we have these sides are equal, we're going to divide 24 by 2. So this is going to be 12, and this is going to be 12 over here. So now we have a right angle. We have the legs are 12 and 16. We want to find the hypotenuse, which is the longest side of the right triangle. So I have 12 here and I have 16. So this, let's call this C. So C squared is equal to A squared plus B squared. That's what you're learning in geometry, and I think in 8th grade math. So C squared here is going to be, A squared is 16 squared plus 12 squared. 16 squared is 256. 12 squared is 144. When you add this up, you have 400. So C squared is 400. Now we need the value of C. So let's take a square root of both sides. And we have C is equal to 20. All right, so now we have 20 here, and then we have 20 here. So let's look at the perimeter of the base. Perimeter of the base is equal to 20 plus 20 plus 24. So this is going to give you 20 plus 20 is 40. 40 plus 24 is 64 feet. Now we want to find pH. pH is going to be 64 multiplied by 35. Let's go ahead and do that here. 64 multiplied by 35. 4 multiplied by 5, 20. We write 0, bring 2 up here. 6 multiplied by 5, 30 plus 2, 32. Now I'm going to put a 0 here. 4 multiplied by 3, 12. I write 2, bring 1 up here. 6 multiplied by 3, 18 plus 1, 19. I'm going to write it this way. Put a 0 up here. So I have the same number of digits. And so now I have 0 plus 0, that's 0. 2 plus 2 is 4. 3 plus 9 is 12. I'm going to write 2 here and then bring 1 up here. 1 plus 1 is 2. So this is going to give me 2,240 square feet. All right, then now we need to find the area of the base. The area of the base. So the base is a triangle. So the area is 1/2 base times height. The base is 24. So 1/2 24 multiplied by 16. So you can choose whichever one you want to divide by 2. So I would just divide 16 by 2. So that's going to give me 8. So this is going to be 24 multiplied by 8. Let's go up here and get the value for that. 24 multiplied by 8. 4 multiplied by 8 is 32. I write 2 and bring 3 up here. 2 multiplied by 8 is 16. Plus 3, we have 19. So this is going to give us 192 square feet. But here we're told that we need to multiply the base by 2. So 2b is going to be 192 multiplied by 2. That's going to give you 384 square feet. Now the surface area, let's go ahead and get some more space. So surface area is going to be pH plus 2b. So this is going to give us 2240 plus 384. So let's go ahead and show the work for that. 2240 plus 384. I'm going to put a 0 here. So 4 plus 0, we have 4. 4 plus 8, we have 12. So 2 here, bring 1 up here. 1 plus 2, 3, plus 3, 6. And then 2 plus 0 is 2. So therefore, the surface area of this prism is 2624 624 square feet. Any questions? Does this make sense to everyone who is in 8th grade, 7th grade, and geometry? All right, so let's make it light, and I will push off the last question I have, maybe till next time. But I'm going to allow you all to walk through some puzzles. We have about 14 minutes or so to go, and if you have a question, if we finish the puzzles early, if you have a question or a topic that you want me to just brush through quickly, I will be able to do that for you. But let's go ahead and try our puzzle. So we're trying to find out the missing value here. What is the missing value here? Okay. Thank you, Dio. Thanks for your participation today. Much appreciated. Tayo. Okay. All right, so let's see if one more person wants to attempt this puzzle, and then we can go ahead and look at it together, and then we'll go to the next one. The next one is very interesting. All right, so since I'm not getting any other responses, so we're going to add, the trick on this one is we're going to add 27 and 25. That gives you 52. If you divide by 2, you get 26. 36 plus 40 gives you 76. Divide by 2, you get 38. So now 44 and 50 will give you 94. You divide by 2, you get 47. Good job, Dio. And finally, I have one of these. I'll keep trying this until I think you'll figure out the clue. It's just a brain teaser. Just paying attention to detail on this type of questions will get you to the answer. So we're trying to find out the value, the missing value here. I'll give you about a minute and a half or so, or 2 minutes, see what you come up with. Okay. Anyone want to try this? All right, let's see. We'll try for 1 more minute and see where we are, and then I'll show you just some little things to pay attention to here. Okay, I'll give you more time. I'll give you more time. Okay. Do you want to show how you got your 150? Then I'll show you how. I'll show you my answer and how I'm thinking about it. Okay. Anybody need more time so we can go ahead with this puzzle? Okay, so let me show you some things here. So I have 3 pairs of shoes for 60. So this is going to be 20. Okay, 20, 20, 20. So let's write here shoes equal to 20. So now I have 20 here, and I have 2 men or 2 persons, and I need to be 30. So the 2 of them are going to be 10. So I'm going to have 5 and 5. So let's put here man equal to 5. Then I got this man here and 2 pairs of glasses. So I have 5 here. So this is going to give me 2 here and 2 here. So let's say glasses equal to 2. And so now we need to find boxing gloves. So let's look at gloves, what that's going to give us. We have 2 here, we have 20 here. So that's 22. So gloves equal to 20. All right, so now we get to the row that has our missing number. So we have shoes, let me say pair of shoes. So you have a pair of shoes for 20. So a single shoe is equal to 10. Single shoe is 10. Okay. Now let's look at this gentleman carefully. What is he doing? He has, so the man has, let's look at what the man has on him. He has 2 gloves. He also has a pair of glasses, 1 pair of glasses. He has 2 shoes. Okay. Anything else that you can see he has? So he's got all of that. So, and he himself is worth 5 points. Okay. So let's go ahead and figure out what he has. He has 5. 2 gloves is going to be 40. 1 pair of glasses will be 2. Let me actually write 5 the right way. Let's put it 5. Then he also has a pair of shoes that's going to give you 10. He's got 2 pair of shoes. 1 second. He's got 2 pairs of shoes, or 2 shoes. He's got 2 gloves. So a pair of shoes is going to be 20 actually, not 10. So it's going to be 20 here. So let's add this up together. You'll get 67. So now our equation here is going to be pair of shoe, 1 shoe is 10, plus we have 67 multiplied by 2. So remember PEMDAS, you're actually very close, but you have to remember PEMDAS. Everything you do in math, when it comes to order of operations, remember PEMDAS. I think next week I'm going to do a few problems on order of operations. Remember PEMDAS controls everything you do whenever you have multiple operations in a question. So now what you're going to remember here is that multiplication always comes first. So 67 multiplied by 2 is 134, and then you have 10. So 10 plus 134 is 144. You were so close. I think you got all of it. You got all of it. It's just PEMDAS was the one that threw you off. So I hope this was helpful to you all. Do you have any questions before we call it a session and call it a week? I've had a good week so far, and the highlight of my day usually is when I get to do this hour with you. And so if you have any questions, let me know before we call it a session. Any questions? Is there any topic you'd like for me to work with you next week? So when I'm preparing for our session on Monday, and for our session next week, I at least factor them into what you guys need. If there's any topics you're learning in school that you don't quite understand, send me the topics, and I'll post email address and phone number. You can text them to me. You can WhatsApp them to me, and you can also send an email, and be glad to. Okay, division. What type of division? Are you talking about fractions, or you're talking about dividing, and when you have two-digit divisors? So division and multiplication. So just give me some more specifics on what you're looking for, and I will be sure to factor that into what I'll be preparing for next week. Any other topics that you all want me to work on with you next week? So Dario, are you looking at fractions, or are you just looking at, okay, fractions and decimals? Okay, perfect. So we'll go ahead and do that next week. Remember, Mondays and Wednesdays will be 2nd to 7th graders, and then Tuesdays and Thursdays will be for 8th to 12th graders, and then Friday we'll have everyone here. And I hope you're staying safe, and school, for those of you who are not used to going to school online, I hope you're adjusting okay. And feel free to send any questions you may have. I'll be glad to help you with those questions in our sessions. And stay safe, you all. And let me actually write the phone number, the email address that you can send your questions to. You're very welcome. And then you can send, I'm going to also write the phone number. I'll send the phone number that you can send questions to as well. So you can send your information to any of these numbers and email address, and we'll be glad to hear from you and factor all of your comments into next week. So have a blessed weekend. Stay safe. Happy Easter to all of you. Enjoy your family, and pray for those who are struggling, and just do your best to stay as safe as you can. And next week we'll have a good time. Be blessed, and see you next week. Enjoy your weekend as well. Bye for now.